What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It's your boy Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record power lifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness. We are about to take off. Class is in session. So, today is April 3rd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. live and uncut here in the studio. And here's the deal. If you can, do me a favor when you pop in, do me a favor and put a 1 in the live chat for me or in the comment section and give me a like. And if you haven't yet, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel, because every Wednesday, every Saturday, just about every Saturday, you're going to see me live here uncut at this very time and at this very moment. And one of the things that I have come to realize is that I need to definitely thank you guys, all 174 of you and counting, that I appreciate each and every last one of you for watching my channel and for listening to the ramblings of a educator and fitness professional. And one of the things that I want you guys to understand is that one of the platforms, the two platforms mainly that I'm on, is both anti-body shaming and anti-body positivity. And the reason why I'm expressing those two particular things is because I want you guys to understand that you don't have the right to shame someone's body. If it's not your preference, it's not your preference, right? But at the same time, what I don't want people to do is lie to themselves about their health and think that if they're in an obese state, which I have also clearly defined as a high level of body fat percentage, not weight, which is a whole nother paradigm and a whole nother platform that I'm on, that if you are not on the obesity train, then this doesn't apply to you. However, I am not a fan of obesity. Okay? Now, this particular channel, this particular moment, this particular episode, Unrealistic Expectations of Women's Bodies, is literally going to sound like a whirling contradiction, all wrapped into a short, black personal trainer and teacher. But I promise you, they are not one and the same. They are both in their own lanes, and they both need to be respected as what they are. They are two separate things, and they can both be true at the same time. And I want everybody to understand that that dichotomy is not confusing if you are paying attention and if you really do subscribe to the ideology that I am putting on to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the other day, one of my former students made a post. And when I say he made a post, I don't want y'all coming for my boy, because he was not on the ignorant level of this. As a matter of fact, he was advocating for the men that this individual was speaking for. And one of the things is that as a man, I need to, number one, as a man, number two, heterosexual man, number three, heterosexual man who is a fitness professional, number four, heterosexual man that's a fitness professional who is educated in this stuff, and it does not discriminate on who he loves. I'm here to tell you that post pissed me off. Not from him, but the post itself pissed me off. And the reason why it pissed me off is because this is the type of shit that gets women in eating disorders. And I don't know about you. I don't know about you out here in YouTube land, you out here in social media world. I don't know about you. But if you have children, especially daughters, I already discussed manorexia a few weeks ago. But if you have daughters who are constantly being bombarded with the opinions of ignorant men about how they're supposed to look and what they're supposed to look like and all of this other stuff, this particular video is for you, because I am sick and tired of unrealistic expectations being placed on not only women, but also on men. But this is particularly about women. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is the post. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay? This is the post. Shout out to my former student, Austin Perry, for actually sharing this post. And if you look here in the caption of his post, he goes, "What men?" Right? Because at the bottom here, Mr. Brian Dawson, on behalf of all men, we hate this. And this is where I got pissed off, because my former student is actually saying what men hates all of this. You name the man that hates this. A lot of people likes to call this the fupa. And actually, a fupa is not that. A fupa is this. And this is the definition of a fupa. And it is called fatty upper pubic area. That is what a fupa is. All right, you can see it right here. Fatty upper pubic area. Now I'm going to go back to the picture. This is not the upper pubic area. The upper pubic area is just at the crease of your hip line to where you bend over at the waist, and that fold where you bend over at the waist is where the fupa begins. This is actually a belly pooch, right? And depending on the build of the woman, we have extreme or minor cases of it. Now, a pooch is not to be confused with Dunlap. Dunlap is a sign of obesity, because clearly when your lower belly area is spilling over your pants, that means that you're carrying a considerable amount of belly fat in that area. And I'm not saying this to shame. I'm saying this to basically explain the point of this video. And the explanation to the point of this video is this: a woman's body is not supposed to look like a man's body. Now, to be fair to Mr. Dawson is in fairly good shape. I'm not going to pull up any of these pictures because I don't want to get very, what's the word I'm looking for? Personal with him, right? But Mr. Dawson has a type. And the irony of it all is that in his pictures, he is sharing the body types of women with creases in their hips. They've got a little bit of fatty tissue on the outskirts of their hips. They're not hard bodies like himself, but they're not soft either. Okay? And if that's your preference, that's fine. You have the right as a man to prefer anything you want. But what I don't like is what you did there, Mr. Dawson, is that you decided that to speak for all men. And when I got on there, I literally said, speak for yourself. Because this right here, like I said, if it's literally Dunlap, because this right here can be tucked into somebody's jeans, right? This could be tucked into the jeans. This is the crease of the hip that I'm talking about. Right here is where your fupa would begin, and below. Here and below is where the fupa begins. This right here is where the fupa would begin and below. Right here is a belly pooch. All right? You spoke for all men. You didn't say on behalf of me and friends that think like me, or men that think like me, I hate this, or we hate this. That would have been fine, but you're speaking for all men, and I personally don't know a lot of guys that literally hate this. Okay? Because it is a sign in our eyes of femininity. Because no man wants a woman to always have this hard body. Now, it's one thing to have a woman that's in shape, and these women are in shape. They're not obese. Fun fact, women are not supposed to be hard bodies. Women are supposed to be carrying around at least 15% body fat minimum, or else they have a whole host of health problems. Don't believe me? Like to hear? Here it goes. I'm going to pull it up for you. What is the standard body fat percentage for women? Let's look at it. As a matter of fact, it's a little higher than that. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, there are healthy body fat percentages based on your age. For people aged 20 to 39, it should aim for 21 to 32% of body fat. Men should have 8 to 19. For people 40 to 59, women should fall between 23 and 33. And men should fall around 11 to 21. So what this means is, if you want to be healthy, just generally healthy, women should be carrying around 21 to 32. I said 15 to 17 on the leaner end. If you want to be as lean as possible without losing your health benefits of having body fat, I'd say no lower than 15. But I'm not going to argue with the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Okay? 21 to 32 sounds fine. And I know you could go back to any of my videos. I have clearly expressed to y'all that obesity begins at 35% and beyond for women, and for men, 25% and beyond. Sounds like I'm in the range. Am I? Sounds like I know what I'm talking about, right? So, I don't even have to go any further for that. As a matter of fact, let's look at it here. And body fat percentage charts for men and women. Let's look at it. What should my body fat percentage be? Dangerously low for anybody aged 20 to 29. Now, I want to also point it out. This is not even for children, which means children can have a little bit more body fat or around this range. But here we go. Dangerously low, 14%. Didn't I say 15%? Could have sworn I said 15. Excellent, 14 to 16.5. What's in the between 14 and 16.5? 15%. Right? Good. 16 to 19. I said 15 to 17% is generally where you want to be. Fair is 19 to 22. Poor is between 22 to 27. What's in between 22 and 27? 25, which is obesity, the beginnings of obesity. Dangerously high, morbidly obese, 27 and above, between the ages of 20 and 29 years old. Okay? Again, so let's go with 30 to 39, over 29. And yes, this is for women. So, over 29.2%. 40 to 49 years old, over 31%. My age group. Women between the ages of 50 and 59, 34%. 60 and above, 35%. You're morbidly obese after 35%. Body fat percentage for men, under 8 is dangerously low. Bodybuilders get as low as 2%. But they can't maintain it. I've said this time and time again. Excellent is between 8 to 10.5. Good is 10 to 14.8. Fair is 14 to 18%. I'm in between good and fair right now in my body fat percentage, but I'm over 40. Let's get to mine when we get to it. Here we go. Let's get to mine. Good is 17 to 20%. Got news for you. I'm excellent because I'm in between 8 to 17% range. So I'm 47. I'm excellent. Okay? 50 to 59. When I get to be 50, if I'm even in between all of this, 19%. And what the reason why these numbers keep increasing as you get older is you have to account for visceral fat. As you get older, you add more visceral fat because you have to protect the organs. And as a result, it is important that you do that. I don't do BMI. Many assessments of body fat show that people who have a higher body fat percentages than official guidelines recommend. Individuals can be healthy while also having unusually high body fat, which is true. These differences raise concern about whether ideal body fat percentages are realistic. Average body fat percentages also vary by race and ethnicity. So, for instance, just because you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, you might have softer features or harder features depending on where you live. Have you seen women from Zimbabwe? Caked up, right? Brazilians, natural Brazilians, caked up. Colombians, caked up. Pretty much women of the Southern Hemisphere, pretty caked up. All right. Using BMI to assess body fat or overall health is another issue. See, this is where it gets funny. BMI only accounts for weight. It makes no distinction between lean muscle, body fat percentage, and bone mass, which is the number one argument I've been making since 2011. When I started this channel, warning you that overeating versus overnourishing are two different things. And you need to be careful on how you address that, right? But over the last 8 years, I have been on here breaking things down to you of this fashion long before this article ever came up. Go down, scroll as far down in my videos as you need to go. And you'll start to see that this one was done November 27th of 2023. We're in 2024. I have been talking about BMI being a joke since 2011. My clients can confirm it. If you scroll down to my earlier videos, you will actually hear me talk about BMI as a joke. And I've always said it. As a matter of fact, I have a video titled BMI as a joke. All right? Because like it said, it does not account for muscle mass. But ladies, do you see what it is that I'm cooking? Do you see what I'm putting down? Do you hear how I'm rolling? The reason why I'm saying that is to let you ladies know this is okay. If your body fat, depending on your age, if your body fat percentage allows you to have this, leave it alone. I don't think most men, real men, and also, by the way, Mr. Dawson lives in Miami, beach capital of the world, where women are desperate to look a certain way in competition with other women for the attention of men, in a location where money flows freely, as well as drinks and other things. So his opinion isn't even valid because he lives in Miami. Most little women down there aren't real. It's like getting a Southern California chick. I guarantee you something on them ain't real. BBL, breast implants, nose job, Botox, right? Why are we paying attention to this? But unfortunately, this guy's an attractive dude, right? Pause. But this guy's look, I'll show it to you. Look, there he goes. And when I say attractive, he looks like he's higher in that picture, but he could be attractive to some women. Like I said, he's in great shape. If you want to go and find him on Facebook, be my guest. Find him. And then look at his pictures and you would tell me he's in good shape. I like his body, whoop-de-whoop-whoop, most women. All right? So because of that, I'm okay with y'all feeling some type of way trying to chase this young man down. But the whole point is that he spoke for all men, and I'm telling you right now, he's not. Here's some comments. I call BS. Not all men want a pole as a woman. 100%. I posted I will have a video on this tomorrow, which is right now as we speak. It's crazy because hips, curves, and big BBL booties are what's popping right now. All that naturally comes with this. These dudes tied to an idea of something that's unrealistic and unnatural instead of appreciating and loving women for the beauties they are. Even if you don't like it, posting this hating on them for their biologically necessary figure is crazy. Shout out to Shea Patterson, because my man is 1000% correct. Because exactly that. This is a natural body, fellas. This is what a body's supposed to look like without fillers, preservatives, and modifications. And in this day and age, you kind of want a woman that looks like this because this is only unique to women. Okay? Wink, wink. Here we go. So, but let's get to it, right? Pictures of belly pooches, right? This right here, let's look at this picture. Let's see how realistic or unrealistic this picture is. So this woman here may be considered obese, or she may not be, because I'm looking right here. The size of her thighs. She's an endomorph for the most part. Right? She's endomorphic. Her thighs are large naturally. Yes, there's a layer of fat covering it, but it's not that immense of a layer of fat that you cannot see the thickness of her thighs. She has a little bit of belly fat around her stomach. She has some belly fat around her stomach, but you could also see that she has a thick midsection right here. Light. This is a light version. That's almost Dunlap, but look, she still has shape on her abs. She could stand to lose a couple pounds, but it's not. And when I say stand to, I mean if she's trying to meet the excellent range. All right. Again, perfectly normal. But here we go. Women belly pooch. So here we go. I want to see this. I want to point this out. Or here on Reddit, do most women have a belly pooch? Somebody said, I don't know. Even when I had an eating disorder, I still had a little belly fat, just a smidge. Now that I'm the weight my body is happy with, been recovered for 4 years, I've always had a lower belly pouch. It's normal, ladies. It's actually kind of cute, to be honest with you. We don't want hard bodies all the time. It's cool to see it, but men don't want hard bodies. Okay? Here we go. Yes, some people will tell you it's the uterus, but that's not true. That is definitely not true. It's fat. It's natural. Most women have extra fat on their lower tummy. Women that have higher body fat percentages than men, naturally. And their muscle fibers are also shaped differently. So the fat on your body stores under your skin, not under your muscle. This is 100% correct. I am confirming. Drives me insane how many people say it's the uterus. Yeah, it's fat. It can also be bloating. No, it can't. You bloat, your whole entire lower region will pooch out, not just a little lump over that's under your belly button, which is more common in women as well. I'm 5'4". At one point in my life, I was 115 pounds. That's relatively skinny, but I don't know what her body type is, so therefore I'm not going to pass judgment. Had ab outlines, had a very small belly pooch. Now 145 due to age and weightlifting. And I have the same small belly pooch. It's very normal. So what she's saying is that I'm older and I lift weights. And I'm still having that small belly pooch. It's okay to have. You can wear a bikini. You're not... Okay, let me keep it real with y'all. Ladies, if you are wearing a bikini and your belly covers up the lower end of the bikini, you might not want to wear it. Keeping it a buck. Regardless of your size, you might not want to wear it because it doesn't look exactly appealing. Because number one, we don't get to see the rest of it. All we're seeing is the top half. Whether the top half is spectacular or not in our eyes. That's where we at. Right? Yes, 110 pounds. No eating disorder, but I still got a pooch. It's completely normal. Yes, and I'm tired of pretending that it's not supposed to be there. Because it is supposed to be there. When I was a college athlete in the best shape of my life, and probably better shape than 99% of other people, exercising 3+ hours a day, I had a belly pouch. Facts. This is part of the reason why Serena Williams suffered a pulmonary embolism, because her body fat percentage was so low, her blood clotting factors were increased and elevated. Therefore, she was a high risk for a pulmonary embolism, which she actually got, almost passed away from it. Also, difficult for a woman to get pregnant with a low body fat percentage. Don't believe me? Can low body fat decrease fertility in women? Now, I'm asking. Numerous studies have repeatedly shown that women athletes who have a low body mass index have a difficult time starting a family. We have found that with our patient population that a number of female athletes have a low BMI. It's not BMI, it's body fat percentage. So this is BS on its own. Southern California Reproductive Center. I think this is something that we can discuss. So, what is too thin and how does this affect fertility? The ideal body weight from a medical perspective is not an exact science. Most of the literature suggests that if a woman's BMI is less than 85% of her normal BMI, then she's too thin. Again, can't say that because I've seen real thin women get pregnant real quick. And I've seen the biggest of women get pregnant real quick. It's all relative to body fat percentage and fertility in of itself. It's not BMI. If anybody from the medical community is watching my channel at all, or if you can share this with somebody from the medical community, doctors, nurses, please stop using BMI as the end all be all. It doesn't work. The reason why you're having difficulties pinning this down is because you're focused on the wrong shit. It is your body fat percentage that will dictate your ease or your difficulty with getting pregnant, not your BMI. The problem with having a low BMI, body fat percentage, I'm going to change that to body fat percentage, does not affect every woman. A low body fat percentage becomes a problem only when it starts to affect menstrual cycles and it's specifically ovulation. Amenorrhea is what we are talking about. And that's typically something you find that happens in athletes, female athletes, obviously. As previously discussed, the ideal of body fat is not an exact science. Yes, it is. Because BMI is not an exact science, but body fat percentage is. When some women are naturally thin, if the correct diet pattern, exercise program, and a healthy lifestyle are followed, there's usually nothing to worry about. Or body fat percentage. If a woman is thin because of excessive exercise and poor dietary habits, her fertility and pregnancy success can be adversely affected. Physical symptoms, menstrual irregularities, meaning you have a period 1 month, you don't have it for 2 months, then you have it again for 4 months, and they're uber heavy. Psychological symptoms, depression, decreased self-confidence, mood changes, lethargy, lack of concentration, anxiety, sleep disturbance, restlessness, aggression. In addition, female athletes who engage in excessive exercise have poor dietary habits are at risk of developing low BMI, which is a result of lower estrogen levels, because estrogen is stored in body fat. It is very important for female athletes to maintain the correct amount of caloric intake while exercising in order to avoid low estrogen levels. Should a female athlete experience any of the above symptoms, she should contact her physician. All right? I'm going to move on from it. Come back to it. The female triad. What is the female triad? I'm going to explain it to you here shortly. The female athlete triad is the interrelationship of menstrual dysfunction, low energy availability, and decreased bone mineral density. This all comes from low body fat percentage. Here we go. Here's another one. Why do female athletes stop menstruating? Any changes in normal hormone levels can lead to menstrual dysfunction, especially in athletes. This can be caused from overtraining, stress, dieting, and weight loss. Typically, menstrual dysfunction occurs when the amount of energy used by athletes exceeds the amount of energy taken in through nutrition, which means you'll lose fat, which means your body fat percentage will be lean, right? And by doing this, you are at risk for osteoporosis at a young age. This is where when you see women in the military getting shin splints relatively quickly, this is why they get shin splints, because they're getting micro fractures in their shin bones, because the actual minerals in their bones are being depleted, because calcium is being depleted, because their menstrual cycle is being depleted, and therefore there is no opportunity to replenish all of these nutrients and minerals, so that way they can remain healthy. But I digress. Where is estrogen stored in women? Adipose tissue. Right here. Right here. This is where it's at. Okay? Let me move off this screen real quick. Okay. It's because it is in the pooch. It is all around you in your adipose tissue. That is where estrogen is stored. So if you have low body fat percentage, you have low estrogen levels. You have low estrogen levels, you're not female much anymore. This is why female bodybuilders cannot maintain such a low body fat percentage for long term. So that's why if you see a female, this is why when you see a female that possibly is 5'10", well 5'4", 180 pounds, and here y'all go calling her fat, what you don't realize is that woman might be a bodybuilder, and she's in the off season, and she's getting stacked underneath all of those layers of fat, and because she wants to have a normal physiological experience until it is time for her to be into the pro season, where you are shredding out, getting lean, and demonstrating exactly how swole, how shredded you are, how much musculature you've developed over the last 8 months. And now it's time to show what you've done. So then what you do is you go to one show, you prepare for a show, you get real shredded. Somebody who is in the know of bodybuilding, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll wait. And then after you do that, you take some time off. You increase your body fat percentage to a level that is still low, but not so low that over the course of the next 3 months, you're going to possibly die because you're unhealthily low in body fat percentage, which is still a mild form of anorexia, right? So, again, this is normal. This is where your estrogen is stored. This lets men know she's ready to have babies. So for the guys that hate this, if you're wondering why you ain't a daddy yet, this might be why. For those men who have wives or girlfriends that they are co-parenting with, I'm pretty sure this showed up. Pretty sure this showed up. Pretty sure this was there at some point. Men like this. So I'm going to go to my page real quick. So you can see it for yourself. So I shared the same video, the same thing on my channel. Right? As you can see. So as you can clearly see, there's people laughing. Right? Let's look at the comments. Somebody goes, which is my lovely cousin Allison. God bless you. My other cousin Siobhan. What's there to hate? To answer her question, not a damn thing. Batty Key M, shout out to you. What's going on? I don't know if you're a woman or a man. I think I know who you are. I think I know who this is. Is this my homegirl Kiki? Talk up on here. Give me a why if it is you, Madam Muskelly. Shout out to you. But what's there to hate? I'm going to tell you, not a damn thing. All right? So, but my wife said, probably the fact that he can't handle business properly, so he has something to blame. So, yeah, there's that. My homeboy Ryan, no, we don't. Meaning we don't hate it. No, we don't. Silas, what's going on, homie? He said that motherfucker is off his rocker. I don't know any cats he's speaking for. He probably still got a pacifier. That's about right. It's absolutely right. Shout out to my cousin Nakio. One of the best curves on a woman for me. Miss Jameson, how you doing? This is Here You Go. That's a fighting meme, but money down, I know what you're going to say at 5:30. Yeah, you might, Rabbit. You might is what I said. All right? And Batty Key, give me a shout out. Say what's up. But anyway. So check this out. I'm going to read this article to you because here's the thing, right? One of the main things that we all have to understand is that a woman's body is sacred. And any psychological warfare on a woman simply to try to influence them to merely get a body that you think is appropriate without scientific proof is criminal. Ladies, I'm here to tell you there are 27 different body types for you out there. And every last one of those body types is ideal for you. Not for you specifically, but you fit one of those 27 body types. And as a result, because you fit one of those 27 body types, you need to understand and know what your body's like before you move into making a decision as to how you're going to endure your physical fitness. So do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what it's going to take, or how do I analyze the 27 body types. Put a 1 in the chat. Do me a favor if you can. Or put a 1 in the comment section. Okay. So here's the deal. We all know about the 3 body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. Skinny, medium, large, right? Skinny, medium, large. Thin, medium, large. Just because you're thin doesn't mean you don't have body fat percentage. And it doesn't mean you don't have the appropriate amount of body fat on you because you're thin. Also, just because you're medium build doesn't mean you have too much body fat. Or doesn't mean you don't have enough body fat. It just means you're medium build. You're curvy in certain places. Shoot, you could be an ectomorph and be curvy. Right? An endomorph. Large. In every sense of the word. Now, what we don't account for is your height. Short, medium, tall. You could be a short endomorph, medium height endomorph, tall endomorph. Leslie Jones comes to mind when I think tall endomorph. Shaquille O'Neal's mom, Lucille O'Neal, comes to mind when I think of tall endomorph in regards to women. However, it's not that mutually exclusive, because what you're not accounting for is the fact that you could be endo, meso, or ectomorphic from your lower body down or your upper body, from your waist down and your waist up. So you could be broad-shouldered and skinny legs. You could have the thickest legs with the skinny body. Some people associate their build with, if I'm built like if I got 2 tree trunks for legs, that means I must have a trunk for a body. No, you may not. You just might not. You might have a thin upper body with large legs. That's okay. It's just fine. All right? So I don't want y'all to think that, but I'm going to move on because I want you guys to understand this. So here is a blog of, her name is, I believe it's Amy Francis Fitness. This is an article she wrote in 2022. Again, I want you to note that this particular subject matter I've been talking about for years. Okay? Normalize the pooch. She's a personal trainer. Normalize the pooch. I'm a personal trainer. I'm saying normalize the pooch. Most women I know struggle with body image around their lower belly pooch. Society teaches women that a flat stomach is necessary to be healthy. I call bullshit. Beautiful, sexy, and desirable. Again, I call bullshit. It's fed to women that the lower belly pooch is something to be fixed or is a flaw. Clients, holla if you hear me. When have I told you get rid of it? The truth is, a completely flat lower belly is an unrealistic expectation, unachievable goal, and a myth. Specifically for women. And I want to say it's a myth. It's not unachievable. I disagree with her a little bit there. I disagree with her there, but the point is that, because clearly there are female bodybuilders that achieve that flat stomach and go by many means to do so. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to read. However, the craze for the past several years is that women need to have a flat stomach in order to be considered attractive. This belief is setting women up for failure because a woman's stomach isn't meant to be flat. Ashley Wood, RN, BSN. Registered nurse. Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Okay? What we must normalize what a normal female body looks like. Learn to love and appreciate our bodies and stop with the lower belly obsession for our own mental health and well-being. I wholeheartedly agree. To an extent, it can get excessive. Not just the obsession, but the actual lower belly fat. It can be excessive on both fronts. When it's becoming excessive on your desire to remove it entirely versus reducing it to a more moderate level, that's where it's okay if you're reducing it from large to moderate. But obsessive to reducing it altogether is unhealthy and unrealistic unless you are planning to be a bodybuilder. All right? So, this is where the rubber meets the road. So, let's continue reading. So here we go. Here are reasons why your pooch is totally normal and as a necessary part of the female anatomy. Eating, drinking, and monthly cycles. Your lower belly will grow throughout the day, which is completely normal. It's just physics. If you fill a bag up with something, it will expand. If you wake up with your belly is smaller and flatter with an empty stomach. But by the end of the day, it is large and more prominent because you ate, drank, and had some bloating. It will also vary in size with your menstrual cycles. It's also totally normal. Here's a fun fact. As a personal trainer, again, female clients who know me, holler if you hear me. How many times have I predicted your menstrual cycles without being, weird about it? How many times have I predicted your menstrual cycles? Why? Because it's a cycle. It's going to happen every 4 weeks, like clockwork. And one of the main things that increases to let me know that it's about to happen is your estrogen levels. And as we have already clearly explained before, estrogen is stored in adipose tissue, which is also known as body fat. A major site for storage and metabolism of sex steroids is the primary source of estrogens and circulating estrogen levels, which are elevated in postmenopausal women and men with pulmonary arterial hypertension. Okay? Estrogen may influence location of women's fat. Let's read that. I'm interested in that, but let's get to that after I read this. Women have padding to protect vital organs like the uterus itself. Yes. While it is completely flat stomach is a myth and unachievable, why is the completely fat stomach, it's supposed to be saying flat stomach, a myth and unachievable? Whether you have given birth to children or not, it's a part of the post-adolescent female anatomy. Not a little girl anymore. And part of most women's genetics to have a small amount of subcutaneous fat in the lower belly to protect your vital organs and reproductive organs. It is anatomically correct and totally normal for a woman in a healthy weight range. Notice that she said that. I want to make sure you understand what she's saying, because she's not giving obese people an excuse to be obese, saying it's perfectly normal to have this when it's Dunlapped over your fupa. Right? Like I said, I play in both streets. Anti-body shaming, anti-body positivity. For those of y'all who want to turn around and like, oh my God, I'm meant to be fat. No, you're not. You're not meant to be fat. You're not meant to be obese. You're meant to be what you're supposed to be based on the 27 body types that exist for you. And whichever one of those 27 body types you fall into, that is what you're meant to be. Some of us are lazy. Some of us have medical issues. Some of us have medical interventions that are causing our obesity. That's all well and good. I understand those situations. I'm not passing literal judgment. I understand those things. But what I'm saying is that those people aren't saying it's okay for them to be that way. They know that they're not right, but they also know that the reason why they're there is not through any real significant fault of their own. But I digress. And a healthy waist circumference, to have a lower belly pooch. Many women, including myself, who have birthed children have loose skin from pregnancy in the lower belly, which enhances the pooch. This is totally normal. Why not embrace this and feel gratitude for incredible gift our bodies have gave us? We made humans. In all fairness, if you don't want to look, with excessive pooch, I get it. It is what it is. You don't want it anymore. But does that mean do you have to get rid of it completely? I don't think so. Why do you see some women without a pooch? Some women are genetically predisposed to not have the pooch, or they have chosen to have surgery to remove it. This is not the majority and is uncommon. And as a matter of fact, let's say that they're predisposed to not having it. That's because their abdominal wall is actually more elongated than the average woman's. So you know how we joke about women with long backs, which is a thing? Correct me if I'm wrong. Got a long back, chances are your stomach's flat. Because the adipose tissue around that is surrounding your stomach is being stretched out and flattened naturally. But if you've got hips, like these women do, notice that every last one of these women got hips. And your torso is a little bit on the shorter side, chances are you got a pooch. And it's okay. Society feeds the myth. The fitness industry and the media perpetuates this with ads like flat belly diets, the exercises to lose the lower belly pooch. I'm not guilty of that. And images that are altered where women's pooches are edited out. Mandela effect. You cannot spot reduced body fat with targeted exercises. How many times have you heard me say that? Body fat can only be reduced overall by eating in a calorie deficit. How many times have you heard me say that? That being said, if you eat it in a caloric deficit, you will lose body fat in whatever place your body wants based on genetics. And if you lose too much body fat, you start going into the female triad, which also screws you up, which means you're no longer healthy. Even though you're thin and you can wear a bikini, you also break easily, which means if you were doing it to get your cheeks clapped, you're going to lose your hips. Your back is literally going to get blown out. Your hips are going to get blown out. Your legs are going to get blown out. You might snap in two if they're aggressive and they're of Caribbean nature, in Jamaica, where they like to jump off the top rope and land on you and start whining on you. Not lying on that one. So, go ahead and play that game if you want to. Go ahead and be not in a healthy body fat percentage. See what happens to you. Accept, love, and trust and normalize. Okay? So I want to point out something. I don't know this woman. I believe this is her. Let's hope it's her. But here we go. When she wakes up in the morning, After 7 hours of existing, 20 hours of existing. Notice how her stomach expands a little bit. That's fine. Notice she has the pooch. She does not have a long back because the gap between here and here is actually fairly short. Notice that her thighs are not inundated with extreme levels of cellulite, which means she is healthy. I'm looking at her from the standpoint I believe she's healthy. But she still has the pooch right there. I bet if she faced forward, again, mild pooch, huge pooch after eating. And it's not really, almost looks pregnant there, but still. The morning before consuming any food. The gym sharks are sharking, right? Versus after food. Everybody changes shape throughout the day. It's normal. A little bit. This is her. I'm going to guess she is in her fitness model mode. This is when she's not. Completely normal. Photoshopped edited image, meaning this is what she really looks like. This is what is suggested she looks like. Okay? So I'm going to land this plane. Check this out. Mr. Dawson, you're young. I'll forgive you on this because you're young and you're foolish and you're ignorant. A woman's body is supposed to look like this. Not one of these women who I cannot see beyond their waistline appears to be excessive in body fat to me. Not a solitary one of them. Professional opinion. Somebody who has been doing this for over 13 years, as professionally meaning. As a matter of fact, June will make 14 years. Somebody who's been doing this for 14 years professionally, who has been involved in health and fitness over the last 33 years, going on actually 34 years now. And as somebody who has been married, had girlfriends prior to being married, and has seen numerous of women in my lifetime that I personally have found attractive and that I've known other men to find attractive around me, I'm here to tell you, you don't speak for all men. Speak for yourself and only yourself, because you sound foolish. Ladies, if a man comes at you sideways, telling you you need to lose weight, you need to look like this supermodel or this Instagram model or this chick in the video or this actress or this singer or this social media influencer, allow them the grace to pull their foot from out of their mouth before you stick your foot straight in their ass. Allow them the grace to pull their foot out of their mouth before you do that. And the reason why I'm saying that is this. Kick them to the curb. If they do not course correct on this attitude that Mr. Dawson has, please course correct. And fellas, those of you who don't have enough good sense to know that this is what a normal woman's body looks like, my advice to you is keep your fool mouth shut. Find those women that you think are within your purview of preference. Hope you can get them. Good luck and Godspeed. But other than that, shut the entire fuck up. And I say that on behalf of all women. So, guys, I appreciate your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Click the all notifications button so that way you can get every bit of information that I put out. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.